Hello there my crawfish and welcome to the LobsCast. Today I'm here with a nice Q&A session that I decided to do. Now I asked the questions on Twitter, so of course if you don't follow me on there then you, well, wouldn't have had the chance to ask me a question, but for those who do, here are your answers. Now, I received a ton of questions to say the least, so probably won't get through them all, but I'll answer as many as I can. Now the first one is from a lovely individual called Enovan. Now he asks, why are turtles annoying? Dragonfly Soup. Now, All Mining asks, LobsCast, what made you get into doing gaming on YouTube? Well, actually, funnily enough, little story behind that one. Now, a good year and a few months ago, I think it was, yeah, a year and a few months ago, I was around my friend Ben's house, and we were playing Minecraft, watching YouTube videos, etc, and we decided, hey, we could do this. Let's start a channel. Hell, why not? Let's just make a channel and do it. And that is precisely what we did. And of course, he had to leave the channel quite soon after because he was never able to record due to his family being rather noisy and whatnot. So he has his own channel now, which I'll leave a link to in the description. That Lobster Guy. Go check out his stuff. He does a lot of TF2 content, so if that's what you're into, and apparently a lot of people on here are, then you should go check out his content. He's pretty damn good. Okay, next question. Asked by Razum835G. Where is she? In response to that, she is in orbit around Saturn. That is where she is. Sonny asks, are you a virgin? On account of the fact that I'm 15, I'd like to think I am, yes. And actually, why not? Let's go on a bit of a tangent. Let's go on a bit of a tangent from this. Not only am I the said virgin, because, you know, 15 and stuff, why wouldn't I be? I've also never had a girlfriend and never kissed anyone. So, that's just those two out of the way, because I thought those were bound to come up eventually. So, I'll knock those two out of the way. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Jamie asks, what's my favourite game? Now, this is one of those questions that I really hate. Not because it's like, oh my god, why are you asking me this again? It's more of a, I don't really have a favourite game, because there are lots of different genres, lots of different just games in general, hundreds of games, loads that I've played. I mean, I could say the game that's had the biggest impact on my life would probably be Pokemon, because I have been playing that since I was 3. That is the biggest influence out of gaming on my life. Just that feeling I had as a child, getting all of my Pokemon up to level 100, that was, and completing it, that was just the greatest feeling, completing Pokemon Yellow. It's just some of the happiest memories of my childhood have come from Pokemon, so I'm going to have to go with, yes, Pokemon would be my quote-unquote favourite game. But, yes, anyway, next question. Now, Charlie asks, LobsCast, how long have you been known as a turtle? And when/how/why did and do you call us your crawfish? That was a mouthful. How long have you known as a turtle? Well, considering the fact that I have always been a turtle, since forever. And I've been calling you lot crawfish pretty much since the start of the channel. I just figured, after I think it was like a couple of months, everyone seems to name their subscribers something, so why not jump on the bandwagon and do it myself? And I figured lobsters, crawfish, it was perfect. The most evil concoction I could think of at the time. So yes, that's the name that I'm sticking to, and that's the name I first thought of. Now, Blake asks, how old are you and why did you start doing YouTube? Kind of indirectly answered the age one earlier, but yes, I'm 15. And why did I start doing YouTube? Kind of I want to answer that one earlier as well, actually. So yes, once again, Enovan asks, why do turtles make good soup? Because they are master chefs. Ha! Twisting your words. What you gonna do about it now? Now, Vomyom asks, why did I get rabbits and what are their names? Well, actually, the rabbits were my sister's decision. She wanted to get rabbits, don't know why, she just randomly thought, hey, let's get rabbits. So that's what happened. And we got them from a shelter, so their names weren't chosen by us, but they are Scrabble and Billy. Now, Matthew asks, do you own a turtle? I am not a slave trader. I am almost in tears over that question. People, turtles owning turtles is always such a sad thought. But yes, anyway. PHB asks, LobsCast, favourite YouTube gamer, and where do you live? And after a turtle, of course, what's your next favourite animal? Well, my favourite YouTube gamer, probably... That's a tough one. I don't like to say, because then if I say one person, then the other will be like, why? Why would you be so mean? And I've never been one to pick favourites. I mean, I don't have a best friend. I just like all my friends equally and such. And so, I don't know. I mean, Total Biscuit's probably the most informative. Husky's probably the most energetic and casty person in the jig that I know. Martin's obviously the most happy commentator I know. So, there's all lots of different commentators that I know and love for their different values. So anyway, what's the rest of the question? It was, where do I live? England. And after that, of course, what's your next favourite animal? It would probably have to be... tortoise. I'm kidding. Turtles and tortoise are the same thing. We all know that by now. Pfft, haven't you seen my character in person? I'm clearly both at the same time. Now, it would have to either be a meerkat, because for whatever reason I've always had some sort of attachment to meerkats. And failing that, I actually don't know. But for now, I'll just leave it at meerkats, because meerkats are pretty awesome anyway. Henry's Keyboard asks, would you date a keyboard? I'm really sorry to break your heart here, or less than 3 keys, but no, I don't think I would, I'm afraid. I am very sorry about that. But I mean, my Razor Lycosa's a bit lonely. I mean, it's probably a girl, so I could hook you up, I guess. Anyway, Game Hunters 11 asks, how long have I played PC games? Well, I got my first computer when I was about 3 years old, and gamed immediately. So, yeah, since I was 3. So, for a good 12 years-ish. Bloody long time. Jack asks, if you could have a superpower, what would it be? That has always been an interesting one, but I'd have to say, that is a very difficult question, because you could have mind-reading capabilities, but of course then you'd find out stuff you didn't want to know. You could have telekinesis, pick up objects from a distance. No, teleportation. Teleportation, something I've always dreamt of having. Because, like, school starts at, say, 8:30 or something. If you want to get there a couple minutes early, just, I don't know, leave it to the last minute, 8:28, teleport to school, and you're there. I mean, wouldn't that be amazing? And then after a long day of school, don't have to walk home, just teleport home. And in that way, you could go to any college, any university you wanted as well. Like, even if it was in a different country, you could just teleport there. Same goes for holidays. Teleporting would be amazing, so that would be my power. Rebel Cade asks, what's better, Scout or Pyro? Scout, because Pyros are for scrubs. Phoenix Knight asks, how did you become rich and famous? I am neither of those two things by any stretch of the imagination, so I didn't. That's the short answer to that one. An only answer. Jamie asks, if there was a zombie apocalypse and you were forced from your house, what 5 things would you take away with you? Well, if you could count like a desktop setup as one item and I could actually carry it amongst other things, then I'd take my desktop setup. I'd, of course, because computers are amazing, I'd take my phone. I'd take, yeah, I could count it as one item. I'd take my Pokemon games collection, that's like red, blue, sapphire, ruby, yellow, all of those things with the Game Boy and whatnot, because that's all in one bag. I'd take my first ever stuffed toy, because of course that's very important. You know, it's a little memory. And I'd probably take, finally, my giant wooden sword to fight off the zombies. There we go, that's that sorted. That was actually a very tough question. I honestly, if I had longer to think about it, I could probably think of some best things, and I'd probably remember some things I'd rather take. But yeah, off the top of my head, that's what I'd take. And it'd have to be off the top of your head in the zombie apocalypse. Anonymous, literally, not that they don't want to be named, they are just called Anonymous, asks, how tall am I? I'm about 6 foot-ish, 6'1" maybe, around that sort of height. I don't really measure, but it's about that height. Sunny again asks, do you like cookies? I love cookies. Rebel again asks, are you secretly a teenage mutant gentleman? Teenage? Yes, but not secretly. Mutant? Definitely not. Gentleman? I like to show that off as much as possible. So, guess you kind of are yes and no to that. Yes and no. Katie asks, have I ever dreamt of her? Probably not. Okay, well, I did receive a lot of questions, but most of them were a bit too weird to say. I'm just not even going to answer some of these ones. These are very, very strange. For instance, would I kiss, I abuse? That's a lovely question, isn't it? Maybe the mafia kiss of death. I'm talking about you, Henry. But aside from that, the questions get weirder from there on in. So I think that's enough for today's Q&A. I may do weekly Q&As, in fact, if everyone wants to participate. If there are new questions people want to ask, new questions arise, what that is, I think I will do more Q&A sessions if that's what you guys want. But that's all for today. Thank you very much for everyone for watching, and I will see you next time. If there are any questions that didn't get answered, then be sure to tweet me with them. Tweet me them with the hashtag of TurtleQA, because I think that speaks for itself. And I will see you next time. Thank you very much for watching.